12 o'clock. I'll call the meeting of the Fire and Police Committee to order. And it's roll call, please.
Bill Jenks,
Here.
Tom Mull,
Here.
Tom Boucher,
Here.
Fred Levering and John Woodward will be absent today, and Keith Durr.
Here.
Okay. Do we have any public comments as they pertain?
I do, on behalf of a resident that was unable to attend.
Okay.
All the correspondence I'm about to read is from Sharon Bear, who is a resident in Berkshire Heights. She lives at the corner of Foley and 4th, 401 Foley to be exact. The first email is dated Wednesday, July 14th, 2021. Michelle, let me start off with, I know this is not your fault, but the below, which is pictures that are attached and that I will give to Melissa, is in regards to no parking on 4th Street and forcing me to park on Foley Street. And none of the below has ever happened in our 23 years parking on 4th Street. I do not want any well thought out response to my anger, for example, bad luck, act of God, could have happened anywhere, etc. Nor will the colorful adjectives I have floating in my thoughts help with my current dilemma. Both only increase my already high blood pressure. I would like to state 3 facts, with number 3 being the most important. 1, when parked out front, my neighbor's child or company's child tried to get into my car. 2, I just had inspection and had to pay an extra $55 for a new cabin filter. The filter was full of debris from parking under the trees. 3, see attached photos. So now several tree limbs, branches fell on my car, and you can see the damage. And now in the sun, you can see even more scratches. I had no damage to my car. My mechanic can testify to that. So now I am forced to park on Olney Street, and this is what happens. Again, the borough deemed it unacceptable for John and Jen to have parking due to no access in the rear. They can use Olney Street like we were told, but yet they were given parking spaces. There is no difference between them and us. Rick and I have no access in the rear. I refuse to spend the expense to create a driveway, shorten our yard, move the shed, because of circumstance beyond our control or decision we did not make, plus have our taxes go up. I demand a more proactive response to our parking situation. Fact, if I still parked on 4th Street last night, would not be an issue and my car would not be damaged. The borough is more concerned about a bike lane for people who probably do not live in Wyomissing, do not pay taxes, which I believe it is the taxpayers like myself and Rick that helped the borough get nominated in the council seats. I could be wrong. What about taking care of their own residents? You let the borough and Drexel anytime they want buy our property, make us an offer. So in conclusion, I would like my email sent out, read at your next meeting, and I want an answer regarding permit parking or some kind of parking. And then the attached photos show damage. This is driver's side door, top of the window, and that is the branch that fell on the car. The next one is from July 15th. Sorry to bother you. Here's tonight's complaint. Again, a much smaller branch, obviously no damage. But this is why we want permit parking, just like they gave the residents on 4th Street. I said repeatedly, we will pay to have 2 designated spots for 401 Olney Street. Per our conversation, yes, it's public street parking, but the residents on 4th Street park there, especially ones who, in my guess, probably have 80 feet alongside of their house to park. Please pass on and read at next meeting. Soon I am ready to contact our state representative and 69 News. And then the attached picture is of the neighbor's property that has a driveway. She was making the point that they don't use said driveway. The last is from July 19th. I am not home. I am off today. Just more reasons for parking. Red car is Sunday yesterday. The silver SUV is my neighbor at 405 this morning, and the blue SUV is Tammy from today. I am sure she is parking there for spite. Last time, but please pass on at next meeting. Why can't we have our 2 spots on 4th Street with no parking behind us? Or give us 2 spots where the borough workers park and let them park on Olney Street? Thank you. And then these are, she's like a ring camera. So these are screenshots from her camera showing at 6:29 a.m. on July 19th. This is directly in front of her house, the vehicles that are parked there with no one across the street. Same condition on July 17th.
What's her address?
She's 401.
401 Olney.
Yes.
Is that the one at the extreme south end?
She would be north intersection of northwest intersection, yeah.
What does she mean by that permit parking was given to such and such and such and such? We don't have any parking. Right?
Correct, and I clarified that with her, that, you know, as of now, that is public street parking, it is not designated to anyone,
She is aware of our proposed, what we're doing.
yes.
Okay. You know, from reading other things as well, it sounds like there's some neighborly issues going on there that would underline to all
Correct.
this. So,
Correct.
yeah.
What does Oley Street look like at night when everybody's home? I mean, are there spaces or is it?
It's parked full, but it is better now that those two trailers are removed. I mean, they were taking up 3 to 4 spaces, just those.
Tell her comments are duly noted and we're gonna proceed with what our plan is and we'll see how that works out.
Did you mention in one of your emails that I read that you were gonna have the tree department look at the trees though to see if there was anything?
I asked Jim to go out and Jim to go out and look at it, and then if necessary, Mark to go out and trim it, so Jim said he passed it on.
So haven't done that.
I don't believe yet, their schedule, I know they were working on tree removals. There was a pretty extensive list of trees that needed to come down. So that would take priority over some branches.
John, can the district bar room just keep tabs on that?
They can, but what she's complaining about isn't really any violations that we can do anything about.
I'm thinking if there's spaces to park.
Well, again, when I talked about the permit parking regulations, that with permit parking, like we can only enforce it for those people that are, if they have permits, they can be there, but I talked about like if we put the lines there, so there, we can't do anything about them parking over. There's no lines there, so somebody might be parked a little stupid. Maybe it looks like they're taking up 2 spaces, but they're within 12 inches of the curb. And there's nothing that we're gonna be able to do about stuff like that. It's just not a violation of the vehicle code for us. And as I said, if we were to put hash marks down for designated spaces, we probably wanna do it throughout, but we have to pass an ordinance for that, and then that's what it would be cited under an ordinance, which is the vehicle code. We don't have nothing like that there. It's just, there are parking violations there. It's just, there's an apartment there now, I guess that takes up a few parking spaces.
No, there's a rental property.
Right, it's like a rental property, so they have a few cars there, so that takes up spaces, but, you know, so there's only so much room. They have the lot behind them.
I've
That
told
to me
her,
hasn't looked like it's been full or used a lot, you know?
I've told her especially she can use the multimodal lot anytime she needs to, because she's the closest to that, it's right on the other side of the alley from her backyard. Her point is, she doesn't have a camera back there that would be able to keep her car in the camera's line of sight versus other places she would park because of neighbor issues. She wants her car to be visible on camera.
So that'd be the one on 4th Street, the neighbor at the end of the road there on 4th Street, the one has has parking on property,
Yes,
okay? And then that guy's parking out on the street.
yes,
Is that the lady that was here?
yes.
And again, that's not something we can,
Yeah.
we can't make, if they don't wanna use their driveway,
Yeah.
we can't enforce that.
Yeah.
Key thing is your question on checking the status of the trees.
That's a
I mean,
shame.
at least we can go back and argue that.
On your own driveway, keep people
Or at least
banging
on
into your car.
your side of Foley Street. I mean, you'd think she'd also wanna park on her side of Foley Street.
You would think,
But
yeah, you would think.
Is this just kind of like a
Law of unintended consequences.
common sense, be nice to your neighbor kind of thing, or what, I mean, most of
It's
the,
not
like, I
like-
look at the one-ways here in the older section, and, you know, most people try to like stay in front of their house and that kind of thing, and, you you know, if you have guests or something, well, you know, then I
Courteous.
gotta park down a couple
Courtesy.
more or something.
Yeah,
What
so
can you
it's-
do?
Yeah, instead of trying to start World War III.
Yeah.
Or parking.
Well, it sounds like she wants us to solve her neighborhood.
Well, that's exactly.
Yeah, we can't do that. No. That's a fruitless endeavor.
And will the parking permit thing, will that solve, if we do that, is that?
It would in that she would be one of those 5 designated spots, but she's actually asking for 2.
And she wouldn't be guaranteed to park in front of her house, she would just
Correct.
be guaranteed to use one of the
None
permit
of-
spots.
None of those
Right, so-
permanent spots are in front of her house either. They're kind of
No.
diagonal.
I think her front door camera would still pick them up.
So yes.
But as soon as you hatch out, you know, line the spaces, chances are people are gonna, you're gonna line a space that's bigger than how close people might otherwise park. You know, a lot of times you'll jockey into a space and take less space than if you actually have the lines.
It was constructed to be able to hold 5 vehicles, so.
But nobody at this point has a permit parking, it's free game, it's open, it's public parking.
Correct.
And that's, when I talked about the permit parking as an issue, we talked about just having it for those residents on Fourth, now people only, it's how many people, where would you draw the line, as to who's available. Once somebody has it, then anybody that has the stickers could use it so that people, it's why I'm not a big fan of us going down that road, permit parking, especially for just 5 spaces.
Well, when you look at the density, there's no reason for it. It's just not that densely populated. It's not row homes where you've got a block of 5 row homes and you've got, each one of those row homes has 3 cars. It isn't there. Franklin Street, maybe the 900 block, but just isn't a need for it.
Okay.
So what are you gonna go back and tell them? We're gonna look at trimming the trees if necessary and wait to tell her the same thing you told the other lady, which is let's try this one-way issue and revisit it again in a few months. Is that what we
I
told
believe the
her?
committee said 6 to 8 weeks after 4th Street opens, they would
Right.
revisit, so that was what I told
Just
her.
keep monitoring until, you know, see what it's like. We got Fourth Street, it's pangs of conscience, maybe.
Alrighty, moving on.
I don't know if you've been there.
Are there any other public comments? Okay. Moving on, Colin.
Good afternoon. For the month of July to date, there have been 103 responses consisting of 15 fires, 49 medical or motor vehicle accidents, 8 hazardous conditions, 31 alarm activations, 58 responses in the borough, 48 outside of the borough. No fire damage or property saved so far for the month of July, average of 5.2 personnel. We had 8 volunteer responses, and to date, we have 863 responses.
Hey, Tony.
For the expanded June report, there were 239 responses system-wide, consisting of 159 fire-related calls and 80 medical or motor vehicle accidents. We had a system-wide property loss of $708,926. Of that, 95,000 was in Wyomissing Borough, and saved property for Wyomissing Borough was $11,405,000. That was for a fire at Red Lobster and Jake's Point Laundry. We had 70 overlapping calls. We gave aid 50 times. We received aid 38 times. Average dispatch to en route was 1 minute 59 seconds. Dispatch to on scene was 7 minutes 7 seconds. We gave assistance to Laureldale 1 time, Western Berks Fire Department 20, Vernonville 2, Leesport 1, Greenfields 3, Moulton 1, West Reading 7, Lunenburg Township 9, Shillington once, Comer 4, and the City of Reading once. That's all I have on that. Anybody have any questions?
Jake's Laundry, how many calls have we got this year?
This year so far, that's, I think, the first one. I mean, we've had multiple fires. This was ultimately related to whatever was put in the dryer. It had nothing to do, again, we achieved compliance with them cleaning the ducts and getting certification and everything like that, maintaining stuff. It had nothing to do with it being caked up with lint or whatever. The people weren't real cooperative. Troy actually went into their residence, which was in Reading, and they started to talk to them, but then when we started asking them questions, then they pretty much slammed the door. I mean, we were just looking to see what exactly the material was that they put in, because obviously there should be a sign there that whatever that material was, I mean, like, nobody was in trouble for it, it was an accidental fire, but it was whatever was in that dryer that actually caused the issue. Probably shouldn't have been dry.
I keep on wondering when they're gonna burn that wall down.
Yeah, it's still pretty good too, so, be kind of hard pressed with a quick response and.
Yeah, hopefully.
In regards to the, dryer bill, the electrical foot, back, a month or so ago, the extractor unit, which the fire department was able to purchase by the state grant, right?
That was a federal
Federal
one.
grant for cancer presumption, leading turnout gear, and so forth, until it was installed in the fire station. When it was installed, it was found that the electrical system, which was appeared to be normal, was not normal, and had been improperly wired previously back around 2011, 12, something like that. In order to straighten the situation out and put the proper wattage and voltage up to this new dryer, is gonna need a sub panel and a conduit to come up. The initial price was around $9,600. We have since gone back to 3 bids and have reduced that price down to $4,800. The fire department currently has $7,600 in maintenance account or budget for maintenance and repair at the fire station. So I would request the committee just authorize the borough manager to expend that if so desired.
I'll make that motion.
Motion second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And
So
will not
moved.
be conducted by Denny's Electric, they would, Denny's Electric, where they would be located.
I think they're gonna have to move some stuff downstairs, that way.
Well, we will when they're ready to
Yeah.
go up to, or go down through whatever. they have to do.
And that's why we just go ahead and let this have to go to council.
It's on, it's the
Part of the
maintenance
Part of,
budget.
part of their budget.
Okay, great. Anything else?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, status on the tower, yeah.
So they think they have the issue fixed with the loss of power from the turntable to the boom. They said they found pinched wires. So as they were running it and testing it, they got a check engine light. They checked the check engine light. It's a DEF sensor, which is proprietary to Seagrave. But Seagrave says that it's probably going to be at least September till they can get one. They were looking at other trucks, but at the same time now we found out that multiple sensors have failed in multiple trucks. So it's currently sitting up there. I'm talking with Pat. We could bring it back, but we risk the fact of that sensor does is determine whether that DEF fluid's in there for the emissions. So if that sensor's shot and it's saying it's out of DEF, even though the DEF tank's full, it's going to deregulate it down to whatever, like maybe 35 miles an hour for so many miles, and it's going to ultimately shut off. So by bringing it back, we ultimately risk having to get it towed back out there when that sensor comes to put that sensor in. So currently it's just sitting there waiting for that sensor.
We have spoke to the broker, we're on track with that, we discussed it with Chris, so we're ready to move as soon as we can get it back here too. Other than, keeping it available until the ladder goes through its marking work, on the block as soon as we can. We're ready to go with that, it's just, get that sensor getting it back.
It's just incredible.
just, I mean, I would attribute that to COVID, and I mean, just COVID in general. One of our guys was traveling and now tested positive for COVID, so it's still out there. It's still, you know, even with the vaccine. So, I would just, I mean, I'm assuming that's why the issue is for the sensor. Even with getting new vehicles and stuff, because we just had to order a vehicle up in spring now, and we probably won't get it until probably second or third quarter of July of 2022. But by placing the order now, we were guaranteed, because they said it was probably a 40 to 48 week delivery time. And that's just for a standard pickup truck.
We ordered an ambulance the night of the fire. It's supposed to be in the end of May, and we're not expecting it till end of December, maybe into 2022.
I heard last week, GM shutting down 2 plants, Detroit and Mexico, because they can't get the microchips for pickup trucks.
They expect to continue.
Yeah. Manufacturing. Now, and I thought I was bad, I just ordered 2 lazy boy chairs, 7 months. For 2 pieces of furniture.
Yeah.
Alrighty, anything else for Colin? Thank you. Tony?
I'm sorry for my tardiness, we've been dealing with an issue at the station. We had 249 calls for service, shoot time of 1 minute and 15 seconds. You have the expanded report that was sent over to you. The big news is Station 1 is finally cleaned. It has been soda blasted, it has been repainted, it has been ozoned. It's still an empty shell. We met with Olson, has given us their preliminary report on the building. Talked about all the electrical and everything else that has to be done. That has gone to the insurance company. So now we're looking into the next phase, which will be planning out the building and going from there.
And they expect you to be able to get back in there.
Would your fire truck come? I might get in there before his pickup truck comes.
There's something to look forward to.
Okay. Anything else for Tony? Okay. John, you're up.
Okay, we had received a parking complaint from 20 Wingert Road. The basic gist of the complaint is that she has a pickup truck, a larger one, and she has difficulty getting out of her driveway when the people are going across the street park in front of their house or across from her driveway. And she was requesting that a no parking area be placed across from her driveway. Wingert Road is a 2-way road. It's narrower, and for that reason, there's only parking on one side of the street, which is the opposite side of Point, so on the odd side of the street. The cars that are parked are not parked illegally. They live in the house right across. They're just parked in front of their house on the street where it's legal to park. It is my recommendation that we, unfortunately for her, we can't do anything for her in this. If we were to grant this and we put no parking area in front of her driveway across the street from that person's house, those people are going to complain that we're taking parking away from them in front of their house. It's limited parking as it is. Other people on their block may do the same thing and they have difficulty getting out of their driveways in the last. And before you know, we're not going to have any parking to begin with, let alone Wingert at all. There's no violations that are occurring. She purchased a larger truck, and if somebody's parked there, it's difficult for her to get out. I can feel for her, but it's not a police issue or a borough issue, in my opinion. So it would be my recommendation that I've gone there to talk to her, and she wasn't home. sent officers out, we got the complaint to look at it. There's just, reporting what I'm saying, there's no violations there, it's a narrower street. She's got a larger truck and, you know, it may be difficult for her to get out, but it's free. It's just, you know, it's nothing that we can really do for her in this. I don't wanna get into that habit of, we start doing that, and everybody's gonna come, you know, it's a public street, it's open to the public to park, to park legally, I mean, that's, I think what we have to try to maintain here, and maintain that position.
It's longer.
Yeah, I mean, you got a crew cab.
And we can't tell her what, you know, but at the same time, you know, do the conditions when you move in, so I can't force people what to buy, but we can't force other people that are, you know, to give up something, you know, that's perfectly legal for them as well, so. It would be my recommendation that we just, it doesn't go over motion or anything like that, but we just tell them what we can do for her.
Tell him just-
Spoke
tell
to
him
her
just
as well,
pull the-
am I hitting it all pretty?
Looks like the throat of that driveway is wide enough that she can swing.
I mean, I can see if you had a car parked there, you have a smaller turn radius, but again,
Maybe you'd have to back up a little bit. Get out.
it's not your problem.
It can be done. It's not
It's like I know somebody, yeah, they bought an extended garage pickup truck, realizes, oh, I can't put my garage door down.
Hopefully.
Okay. You know, I mean,
Or they try to put the garage door down.
I've got the same problem on Monroe Avenue. If somebody parks directly across from my driveway, I've gotta be careful backing out or flip them, but I just widen the throat of the driveway. Kind of solve the issue.
Tell my wife that. I parked my car across the street, cut the grass, and she didn't realize that.
So do you have to respond to it, John, or what?
I can. And like I said,
Not just
I actually went out there to talk to her, but she didn't answer, so I assumed, I don't know what
I
time she
guess
gets
if
back from
so
work.
she gave a formal request, I guess we should.
No, she is not. So that was, when John and I talked about this on Friday, because I unintentionally spoke to her as well, she's not submitted any formal request. It was
Oh, this is just all.
verbal, nothing in writing.
Well, I guess we still have to, with the new way, I guess we still have to act on it.
And I try to make contact with people and talk to them, but I don't know when she's available, when she
She
can
didn't
roll
call.
back on me.
Well, table it.
Yeah, I don't think you have to take action on something on the agenda just because you put it on an agenda publicized. So that you can table this or just give guidance. You don't have to do one of those specific things or.
I'll make a motion that we table the issue since the chief and Michelle have seemed to look into it already, and there's not much we can do about it. Just let it be for the time being. Give her some more advice.
Yeah, I'll still try to make contact. Like I said, I think she may just work every day long here. May just have to leave her next week or something like that. I try to go out and talk to her, you know, have that kind of connection with her.
Yes, talk to a neighbor. Yeah. Which way do you need to swing? Can you park, if you could park the car
I
10
just-
feet this
A
way?
little bit.
When somebody's not breaking any kind of law, I'm hesitant to tell our officers to try to
Oh, no, I don't
intervene
mean,
with.
yeah, no, I don't mean you, I mean, tell the
You mean her,
neighbor
it's
to.
like, okay.
Yeah, and talk to her
Talk
neighbor.
to the neighbor. You
Say,
know.
hey, would you mind?
But it,
We have a motion and a second.
Second.
Second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So be it.
last month I brought up about the Mind Your Health event, the 5K run that they want to do, but I mentioned about with the bridge being out, if they were still going to want to do it. Well, the bridge is there now. It's a much quicker repair job than I thought it was going to be, so I let them know that. So they are still interested in conducting the 5K. It's basically starts at the Stone House, goes to the park, and ends up there. So I am just request that I grant the permit for some sound amplification down there, they're gonna have tents, things like that. We're gonna sell some food, burgers and things like that, something like that. So real permit is required.
Have they submitted all the paperwork?
Yeah, it's all submitted.
Insurance and all that? Great. Entertain a motion to approve the road.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Tom, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then
Ayes
just,
have it.
and just along that vein, you can see we have some dates for some block parties coming up. The last one's actually 9/25, I think I typed in the wrong date also. So they are yearly events that occur in the borough. It's nothing really for us to do, like let Jim know, like put some barricades on, for it to be closed down for the people on the block to have their neighborhood block party.
We'll let fire know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Fountain Park, is anything gonna be closed, or is that like any roads are gonna be
Yeah,
closed?
just right there on, Park Road,
Okay.
between the Park View and the Wyomissing Road.
We don't need any action.
The block parties are per ordinance or per my purview as the chief and the mayor, so I don't believe there's anything, I just wanted to let you know that it's usually happening on those days.
Okay. Before we move into executive session to discuss personnel matters, is there anything else anybody has for the chief? Okay. This time we'll adjourn into executive session.
You need to get all the time? How long that's be? Gonna be?
Is it more than 10 minutes? 15 minutes. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, call the meeting back in session, Fire and Police Committee. We went into executive session to discuss personnel matters. And entertain first, I guess.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda to include, discussion that the committee had in reviewing vehicle damage.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So be it. Oh, public comment on this. I'm sorry?
It's okay, it's fine, thanks.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Alrighty.
Okay, then I will make a motion, that the, Melissa, can you read what we wrote?
Motion to affirm the recommendations of the police chief to handle the personnel matter administratively, which involves vehicle damage. He will handle it with a written warning.
And I will make that motion.
Second. Second by Keith. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So be it.
Forgot about the public comments.
Okay. Is there any old business to be brought before? And any new business? Not hearing any new business, that completes our agenda. And I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.